Roger. Question number 6 is for Dick Gordon. Dick, how did it feel to be alone for a day and a half in orbit around the moon? And what were you able to observe of Pete's and Al's activities on the surface? Also, when the LEM was crash landed after Rendezvous Friday, were any of you able to see the impact?
Well, it's a little hard to really express how one would feel being with Pete and Al for 4 days on the way out there, being very close throughout all the training, and then being left alone to tend the command module in lunar orbit while they're down there for some 32 hours for a lunar stay. I had thought about this beforehand. What it would really be like to be completely alone on the backside of the moon, no contact with any other human being. But surprisingly enough, the activities were such that I was awful busy during my waking hours, didn't really have time to dwell upon that. And to be perfectly frank, so blasted tired at the end of the day that I could hardly get to bed fast enough to get enough sleep to carry on the next day's activities, which were busy in themselves because of the photographic requirements that were levied on me while in lunar orbit, while Pete and Al were working on the surface. I never did observe them personally on the surface, although I did see the LEM through the optics, which are right behind us. And I also saw the surveyor in the crater. I saw both of these objects twice on 2 different passes. On one pass, I put the camera on the sextant. Hopefully, I'll have pictures of that so my doubting friends will no longer doubt. All in all, I think that kind of describes the activities that I went through while Pete and Al were down on the lunar surface. The last part of your question, Jerry, I forgot what it was. Will you repeat again?
That's about the crash landing, Dick. Did you see it go in?
No, none of us saw it go in. After we separated, I tracked the LEM for a considerable length of time in the optics, and thought I had a pretty good state vector so that the auto optics would track the LEM automatically. Therefore, I put the camera, mounted the same camera on the sextant right here behind me, hoping that it would automatically track the LEM into the lunar surface. I don't know whether we were successful with that or not. I have some doubts about that. Certainly, none of us saw it with our naked eye.
Roger, Dick, thanks. Question number 7. You mentioned during the EVA finding 3 kinds of soil. Will you give a brief description of each, its color, its texture, and so forth, and discuss whatever problems you had in handling all the different kinds of lunar material?
Well, when we say 3 different kinds of soil yesterday, that was I guess what I want to say, a subjective thing, and the colors were all the same. It appeared that some soil was firmer than other soil in the manner in which we sunk into it, and the finer soil would be the softer soil that we sank deeper in was of a finer grain. This was over towards the very extreme end of our traverse over at this sharp crater, which was about as far away as we could get from the LEM. And now we have sampled in sample bags some of each type of soil. When I say 3 different kinds of soil, the medium textured one was where we landed on one side of the surveyor crater. Over on the other side, when we went down to get to the surveyor, we found the ground was, I say, considerably more firmer. It appeared to be firmer ground, not quite as, we didn't sink in quite as much as we did over working around the LEM. And then when we got over to the sharp crater, which was the far end, that's the softest ground, and we sank in the deepest there. You have anything to add to that, Al?
No, you covered it. They asked about the color.
Hey, we're getting you back now, Pete. Press on.
Well, anyway, all the rocks looked and soil looked sort of a gray, find a white rock now and then, or you could maybe disturb something and get a little darker gray, but generally they were gray. The second day we went out, the same thing that looked gray to us the first day started looking, at least to me, started looking sort of a brown, a dark brown or a tannish brown. And it was one of the most interesting things of the lunar surface operation was how much that color can change just with a 7-degree or so sun angle change, and how everything there changes color with it. In fact, when we came upon the surveyor, you'll recall, it was gray. I mean, it was brown. We saw it the second day. It was brown. And we asked you if it had been painted that way, and you said no, it hadn't, that it was really been white. And when we got up next to it, we discovered that sure enough, it looked brown, and the coating on it was the same brown as the soil. And I would be a bit surprised when we get all those parts back to Houston, they don't turn out to be, under the Earth light and light of a laboratory, they turn out to be kind of a dark gray again. It's going to make geology quite a bit more difficult than we see it on Earth, because the color cues just aren't going to be there. You're going to have to look for texture and fracture and luster and a lot of other things that will aid you in determining differences in rocks and minerals.
Roger. Let's move on to the next question here. It's number 8. Were the moon's color, texture, and general appearance as seen from above as you expected them to be? And is there any place on Earth you know of that looks like the ocean of storms?
No, I can't think that there is. It reminds me of desert areas. You might be able to find appearance like that in some deserts, particularly the backside of the moon, which is a lot more beat up in the front side. But as far as the ocean of storms, I guess there really isn't any corollary, any place on Earth that we can recall, at least.
Okay, next question is for Pete. Pete, everybody's wondering about the fall you took on the moon. Was it accidental or on purpose? And how did it feel to fall in the weak lunar gravity? And could you have recovered your footing if Al Dean hadn't been there to help you?
Yeah. No, I didn't fall on purpose. I was trying to pick up something, and I was just standing next to Al. It was a rock that was too big to go in the tongs, and we sort of had a little game we played there of leaning on the tongs and sort of doing a one-arm jobber do all stretched out, and I just sort of rolled over on my side down there in the ground. And Al, before I got all the way down, just gave me a shove back up again. And I don't think it'll be any problem. The business of falling against a rock and cutting your suit or something, you don't fall that fast. You just wouldn't hit a rock hard enough. Do you think, Al? No, not only that, you're talking about not falling fast. When you start to fall and you lose your balance at first sort of frequently, particularly if you ever try to back up because the ground is uneven and you step in holes or over rocks, you fall so slowly that it gives you plenty of time almost to turn around or catch your footing before you actually get low enough down before it's too late. So I can recall a number of times when I lost my balance, and if I'd lost my balance that much on Earth, I would have probably fallen down. But on the moon, because you start moving so slowly, you're usually able to spin around and bend your knees and recover. And like you say, Pete, you're falling so slow that you can usually catch yourself or roll off or something. I think that's another thing. I think, and I saw Al do this 2 or 3 times also, in trying to bend over to get something, we'd start to fall over, and you fall so slowly that you just start moving out, and you just keep moving until your feet come back up under you again. So it's not that easy to fall over up there, for that matter, and I really don't think it's any problem.
Roger. Question number 10, I think you've pretty well answered, but I'll read it anyway, and you can add any more thoughts you might have to it. While you were inspecting the Surveyor spacecraft down there in the crater, you commented about changes in its appearance. The white parts seemed to turn tan and so on. Will you discuss this further and give us any impressions or conclusions you may have about what caused these changes?
Well, this brown color is definitely some lunar dust that's on it, and it was evenly distributed all the way around it, so I don't think it's dust that we blew on with the LEM when we landed. I think it's accumulated there. It wasn't that easy to wipe off. And the other thing I think that was most apparent to Al and I were in cutting the tubes. In practice, we had, and I'm going to have to check this, but theoretically, we had the same aluminum tubing as the struts were on the Surveyor, and the tubing appeared much more brittle and much easier to cut up there, so I suspected some crystallization or something had happened to the metal in the 31 months that it was sitting there. And the other thing was that we noticed that the wire bundles that we had to cut, the insulation had gotten very dry and very hard and also very brittle. And I think that's about it. You think of anything else? No, I think you covered it, Pete.
Okay, here comes number 11. Do you think that future EVAs can be extended beyond the 4-hour limit? Or do you believe the number of 4-hour EVAs should be increased in order to get more exploration done on each mission?
No, I think you ought to go a longer time on each EVA. We felt badly sort of that we got shut off the other day, although we didn't have the data in real time, nor did we have the agreement with the ground that we weren't going to go past the 4 hours. But we had 6 hours worth of consumables, and we'd gotten out early on the second EVA. And as far as being tired or anything, we weren't tired. We could have kept on going. We hustled to get back just to make our 4-hour deadline. And I think that the big problem is getting suited out and getting unsuited when you get back in. Doing the work outside is easy. Once you step down the ladder, you're on your way. And I think what you should do is get a long-term PLIS. And if you have a 3-day lab, you have a PLIS that'll stay out for 8 or 9 hours, and some way to give the guy a drink of water and maybe a shot of food. He can sit down, take a little siesta out there for half an hour in the middle of it, and he can do 8-hour day work out there. And that's the big thing is getting it all on and getting out, getting it all off, and putting it away when you get back in.
I think there's another significant problem Pete didn't mention. That's the amount of dirt that you bring back into spacecraft with you. Most Pete now, although they had been in the lab for a considerable length of time before they got back to command module, still brought back just a tremendous amount of dirt and dust in their clothing and on their persons. And I think if you're going to work in that environment for any length of time, you're really going to have to tackle this problem and keep it clean.
Roger, thank you. That was a good one. Question number 12. For future lunar explorations, is a geologist a desirable member of the crew? And what sort of surface transportation would you recommend?
Well, you can go pretty good on your feet, I can tell you that right now. I guess we ran almost a mile out there without giving it too much thought. Certainly, I think a geologist should go on the trip. I'll tell you one thing, though. It took every bit of knowledge I had getting that baby down there in the right place. That was no easy task. And I think, as a matter of fact, we were discussing that earlier today. I'm a big advocate of the LLTV. I think that was a tremendous help to me. And certainly that's been my profession. And it took everything I had to get that LEM down in one piece. I think we got some things to work out on that that'll make those tasks easier. And I think that the idea is to get the transportation system worked out and then take the necessary people to go. There's no doubt that a geologist can do a better job than I can. I'm not a geologist.
Roger, Pete. This is the last question now. Millions of people who stayed up late one night last week are wondering, what happened to that TV camera anyway?
Well, Jerry, we really don't know what happened to it. All I know is you told me you were getting a picture, and then I didn't pay any more attention to it until I heard you talking with Al. And we don't know what happened to the camera, but we have it on board. We brought it back with us, and whatever is wrong with it, they'll find out and have it fixed so that they have good TV for 13.
Roger, Pete. That covers all the questions we have. You got any general nature little goodies you'd like to show us or talk about?
Well, I just, is George Lowe down there by any chance?
Pete, he doesn't seem to be in the mocha or in the viewing room, but we know he's listening.
Okay, well, he could probably see it later, but he sent us a letter about not having a certain passenger aboard the spacecraft, and unfortunately, he is aboard the spacecraft, and we just wanted to show it to George so that he could write the proper letter to allow him to have made the flight. Yeah, I've got something to say. Pete, Dick, and I spent...
Roger, you found him, huh?
We sure did. He was in the food locker.
Is he fat?
He's very fat.
Go ahead, Al.
Pete, Dick, and I spent a couple of years getting ready for this mission, both backing up Apollo 9 and working on this one. And we spent a lot of time sitting around thinking about what our chances were of actually getting to the moon and landing there and coming back home. And one of these space missions boils down, as you know, Jerry, boils down to about three big things. One, you got to have trained people that operate the spacecraft and that operate on Earth as flight controllers. And we felt pretty good about that. We've been training hard. We've worked with the flight controllers we knew they had. You've got to have a good set of procedures to work by, and people like Bill Tyndall and the men that work with him have spent many long hours and a heck of a lot of effort developing them. So we were pretty happy about that, too. And that leaves the hardware, the machinery that's got to work, the Saturn V and the command module and the LEM. And that was our sort of big unknown. We knew there were millions and millions of parts in here. And it doesn't take very many parts to go bad before you can abort a lunar mission. It's a long chain of events, and any one of them can shoot you down and cause you to come back home early without making it. And we, of course, couldn't walk around and check all the parts on any of these things. We don't know that much about it. We did know the people that worked on them, though, people like Jim Harrington at the Cape and Buzz Hello there and Chuck Tringali, our team leader, and a lot of others that I didn't mention right then. And we kind of felt pretty good about the fact that they were handling the gear. Well, we're on the way home now. We'll be back tomorrow. We've had a couple of small failures, but none of the equipment that we worried about has shown anything but perfect performance. The fuel cells, for example, are just perking along just as beautifully as they can be, putting out 20 amps apiece and holding their own just perfectly. And I think this is a fantastic tribute to the people that designed this equipment and the people that built it and the people down at the Cape that shipped it out. And I'm pretty proud of the Apollo 12 mission. We got everything we were supposed to do done, and I hope that all those people there that had anything to do with this hardware, that built it, that designed it, or that checked it out, feel as proud about this mission as I do.
Roger, Al, I think I can speak for everybody down here when I say that we're all darn proud of it ourselves. I think all of our little mascots, Snoopy and BC and the rest of them, have really done their jobs well in helping us to keep the mission before the people and keep everybody motivated.
We got one last thing to show you, and then we'll close.
Roger, go ahead. Pete, while you're making preparations, the family's here on the Moker viewing you.
Good.
We got you on the big, big screen.
Hey, great. Tell him we'll be home in about a week.
Roger.
Call tomorrow. We wrote a little inscription over the FTAI and signed it.
Roger, try focusing in just a little bit. We can almost read it. It says Yankee Clipper with Intrepid in tow.
No, it says Yankee Clipper sailed with Intrepid to the Sea of Storms, Moon, November 14th, 1969.
Roger, we can read it now, thanks. And we copy the signatures.
And that's it, Jerry, from Apollo 12. Good night. We'll be talking to you tomorrow morning.
Roger, we'll be seeing you.
Good night.
Okay, 00800-7835, minus 165, 02236.
Okay then, and I have TLI pad for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
TLI 22605 179er 108 000 547 104169er 35587 358 139er 320 302 319er 040. Ejection time 4 plus 01 plus 00. Over.
Okay, GLI 2 plus 26 plus 05, 179er, 108, 000, 5 plus 47, 104169er, 35587, 358, 139er, 320, 302, 319er, 040. And ejection time 4 plus 01 plus 00.
Roger, Fred. Read back correct, and we're getting a nice color TV picture now. If you have any commentary to go with it.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where we are here.
That's your job, not mine.
I must, I just been up out of the LED for a short time here. I'm trying to find out which country we're over.
I have to keep telling Jack that the blue stuff down there is water.
I'll give you a hint. You're in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay, Joe, it looks like that we've crossed out into the Gulf of Mexico here. And a peninsula or an island that's down there. I don't know whether you can see it.
Vance. Can you think you can guess what that might be, Vance? Better than Charlie?
I don't want to start flipping coins at this point.
Okay, Vance, we're pointed just a little ways off from looking directly at the moon. Jim is holding the camera through window 3. The sun is coming at about 40 degrees off our left side. And what we're going to show you in just a minute is about 30 seconds of wastewater dump and just show you just what it looks like. It's really fantastic.
Okay, we'd like to see that. Okay, we saw some droplets speeding out for a little while, Jack. Now we don't see anything.
Actually, Vance, what you're looking at is solid water droplets coming out just about all the time and lightens up the whole sky around the moon. It's just probably too fine for you to see. Now I think they come out a little thicker.
Okay. Yeah, we see those.
Jack's complaining about seeing stars.
Fido says he can understand why that would perturbate a trajectory now.
It's amazing watching these little frozen droplets maneuver. They seem to go in all directions. But finally, after they get out a certain way, settle down, and they all seem to be traveling in about the same direction.
Right, that's coming in real well.
The objects in the foreground are parts of the lamp that you're looking at. Camera's now going over Fred.
We can just barely see those parts of the limb. They must be in a shadow.
Okay, now you're looking at a thruster quad at the lower part of your screen. I've got the f-stop all the way open now, Vance. That's quad. Quad 1 you're looking at with the limb the moon should be in view just over the top of the quad.
All right, we see the nozzle of the quad, but it's dark and it's not easy to see. 13, Houston, ENCO suggests you try average if you're in peak to see if that gives us a better picture.